Hey guys, Yummy here again, and this is going to be my first strictly Battlefield related video in a while, which is sad because this was supposed to be mainly Battlefield channel, but as the months went by, I realized it was so much more. I realized I was so much more. This channel was meant to achieve greatness, and now, free from the shackles of a single franchise, it is now free to pursue its dream of one day climbing out of the depths of obscurity and claiming what is rightfully its own, or my own, or whatever. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you guys some basic strategies for the map Propaganda. This map has become a favorite of the community, and it's one of my favorites, but it's also the one that, along with Operation Lockers, I find that most teams play it wrong, at least to me. So here's the map of Propaganda. Yes, I am in fact using Microsoft Paint to demonstrate, and no, this is not a screenshot of mine. I don't play PS3 or PS4 or whatever console this was on, and I have no idea who Dat Rage guy is. This is strictly for presentation. So after the start of the map, where guys on quad bikes and tanks go all over and shit, the main lines of battle take shape, and the most common tactic teams subconsciously use on this map is Zerg rushing. That is, the entire team travels in one giant mass, which leaves their other flags vulnerable, and it's also very easy to predict. For instance, they'll usually go from A to C to E to D to B, or the opposite direction for the Chinese team. And a lot of times the teams won't even cross the street to get to B and D. I wouldn't be surprised if half the Battlefield community was even aware there was a portion of the map on the other side of the tracks. When the enemy team is Zerg rushing, you only need a most basic strat to beat them. You just go to all the bases they're not at and capture them. I promise you will only find at most 2 enemies at any of those other bases. This is where the large map comes in handy. On PC, if you push the M key or whatever you have it bound to, you can watch the flow of the battle and anticipate where the enemy team is going and exploit it. I don't know how you guys pull it up on console. I think you have to push the start button and go to map or something like that. It's not really convenient on console, but sorry, I don't have any control over that. And back to crossing the street, that's actually probably the most effective thing you can do on this map, because more often than not you can back rage or side rage the enemy, making it infinitely more easy to capture the objectives. I mean, yeah, the street looks really big and open, but if there's no tank right in front of you, it should take you no time at all getting across. Tunnel vision is the most costly thing for a player and therefore the team to have. Focusing on what is solely in front of you makes you oblivious to everything else, giving the advantage to the opposing team. This is what you need to do on the US side, and just flip it for the Chinese side. At the initial push, put more effort into the B side push than the A side, because while you may not be able to cap C, A is easily defensible, and the larger portion of your team can push through D and swoop around and cap E, which you can either use to back rage C or cause the enemy to fall back from C, to allow your allies at A to push up and cap C. I prefer the latter one because that will even out the lines and make the battle more manageable. Having your allies at A, which are probably going to be outnumbered by the enemies at C, just capping E is going to make many of the guys on the team be like, holy shit, they're capping the bases right behind us, and they'll fall back, making C way easier of a target. This is of course assuming that you get at least a portion of your team's attention. Sometimes you'll get a really smart team that does this anyway, but in other cases, yell and shout enough and teammates will begin to follow. This has helped if you're actually doing well in the match yourself. It gives you a lot of influence and makes people more likely to follow you. I'd also suggest that you keep an eye on the street, basically the entire match, because there's going to be, each team gets 2 tanks and also quad bikes. And quad bikes like zooming up the main street and getting around and capping the bases behind your team's lines. Like if he's on this Chinese team, he'll go all the way down and cap A. allowing his teammates to spawn in it and back raid your own guys. So just keeping an eye on the street and shutting down any vehicle that's trying to push up, it can be major in maintaining the momentum on this map, because the tanks are massive instruments in back raging and side raging. They get on that street between A and C and they can wedge themselves in there and take out 10, 20, 30 enemies before being blown up. It depends on how terrible your teammates are, so just keeping an eye on them is definitely going to help you out way more on this map. And finally, make sure you use all of the alleys and back routes to your advantage. There are actually tons and tons of alleys and back routes on this map, even though it is a really linear map. It's probably one of the most linear vehicle oriented maps in the game. Especially around the C objective, there are hundreds of ways at approaching the C objective. If you use them as frequently as you can find yourself getting behind the enemy all the time, or just catching them with their pants down, allowing you to get the advantage. So just look for those opportunities and take them whenever you can. This is, of course, following the main strategy I said earlier. I mean, honestly, if you have enough teammates doing that strategy anyway, you don't really need to worry about it. You can go do your own thing. I mean, anyway, you could do your own thing no matter what. It's your game. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to win, and if you want to have a really good KD, because I know tons of people care about that, you can use those alleys and those back routes to your advantage and completely destroy the enemy from behind. So anyway, I hope you guys find these strategies useful. I definitely employ them myself every time I play this map. This map is one of my favorites, even though it's really linear. It actually has some of the most dynamic gameplay in Battlefield 4, especially if the teams are balanced. So I hope you guys employ these and find them effective yourselves. So if you guys like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, this is Yummy. Goodbye, and good hunting.